our complete coverage of Greek Week.
And the latest on President Biden's new debt plan for students.
All that and more right now on SUTV News. Good evening, welcome back to Senior Edition of SUTV News. I'm JD DeRazio.
And I'm Alexander Haig.
Shippensburg's very own WSYC held its annual Up All Night event where radio DJs took to the radio to DJ live for 24 hours straight, full of music and giveaways. More of this is WSYC's General Manager, Jenna Cornell.
This past weekend, we held our 11th annual Up All Night, which is a program that WSYC has been doing since 2013. And essentially, the program event really started to basically thank our listeners for tuning in to the radio station throughout the year, which is primarily our student body on campus. So we do 24 hours and 24 prize giveaways, so about one an hour, in order just to say like a big thank you to students for tuning in and supporting the college radio station, WSYC. But it's also really developed into just a great bonding opportunity for our members. This semester, WSIC has doubled in size, so we have about 67 members total in the organization. And otherwise, like, I think the normal day-to-day schedule of WSYC, where our DJs come in for one day, like 1 hour a week, basically, one day a week, you don't really get to meet a ton of other people except for at meetings. So events like Up All Night are like a fun way to get everybody in here, or as many people as they want to in here to hang out. And like we make liners, we do Photoshop, we practice different techniques of doing broadcasts. I actually tested out my theories about how to connect the newsroom in here to the actual on-air studio over there, and we were able to do a 4-person broadcast with 2 in here, 2 in there at the same time. So we just get into some shenanigans and get to try some fun stuff out, while also like doing the traditional like giveaway and honoring the event that we've done for a couple of years. So it's a lot of fun, and it's really rewarding, even though it's tiring.
WSYC is live 24 hours a day on 88.7 FM, or you can listen live on the TuneIn radio app. Something Rotten is brewing in Boiling Springs, PA. The Keystone Theatrics is hosting their production of Something Rotten, which is set to premiere April 26th and is the final production of their 2023 to 2024 season. The Keystone Theatrics will host the performance at their home theater, the Playhouse in Allenbury. The theater has been open since 1949 and has hosted stars like John Travolta and Shirley Jones during its 75 years of operation. The play takes place in the 1590s and details brothers Nick and Nigel Bottom's journey to write a hit play. The journey takes them through as they attempt to jump over the cast built by the Bard, who is a Renaissance rock star, all while trying to write the world's first musical. For tickets and more information, visit KeystoneTheatrics.com.
Shippensburg University's Greek Week took place this past week to celebrate all the fraternities and sororities on campus. Greek Week is a way to celebrate all the great Greek organizations that are here at SHIP and bring the campus, while also providing a bit of competition along the way between the groups. Through different games, trivia, and scavenger hunts throughout the week, each group competed for bragging rights. The big week ended with the famous lip sync battle at Memorial Auditorium. The groups put on an absolute show. At the end of the week, the winning fraternity was Phi Sigma Kappa, also known as PSK. The winning sorority was Kappa Beta Gamma, also known as KBG. For more information on Greek life and Greek Week, visit ship_Greeks on Instagram. The letters EQV were written all around campus. With more information, here is SUTV's Jeremy Perna.
Last week, mysterious lettering was found on different buildings, sidewalks, and structures around the Shippensburg campus. The unusual vandalism consisted of the letters EQV and were written on campus buildings such as the Dauphin Humanities Center, the Memorial Auditorium, and Shippen Hall, as well as several walkways. According to the university's Director of Communications and Marketing, Megan Silverstrom, there is still an ongoing investigation on the cause of the vandalism and the meaning behind it. With some concern about the unknown subliminal messages, we have caught up with a few students to give their thoughts on what happened last week.
Like, I don't know what it means, but that's kind of equally concerning that both, like, nobody seems to know what it means, and there hasn't been anyone who even, like, has a real theory on it.
I do think it's a tad bit concerning, just vandalism on campus. It doesn't range the biggest concern to me because I don't really know what it is.
Fortunately, staff was able to clean up the vandalism, which was written in chalk, but it took countless work hours to complete the job. With SUTV News, I'm Jeremy Perna.
Coming up in world news, the latest on President Biden's student debt plan.
Stay tuned after these messages.
Are you failing a class or don't know what you're doing? You're in luck. Shippensburg Primary Academic Resource Center is free to all SHIP students. The Student Success Center, also known as the Learning Center, is located on the first floor of Mallory Hall. The center provides a variety of services, including course-based tutoring, writing tutoring, and learning specialists. To schedule an in-person or Zoom appointment, visit the Student Success Center collaborative website, ship.campus.eab.com. I'm Will Nicholson with SUTV.
Are you having a hard time focusing on your work? Why not check out the Ezra Lehman Memorial Library? The library has many resources like the IT desk on the main floor. For computer assistants, see the experts. Need to print in black and white or color? Don't worry, the library offers both options on different floors. You can use the bottom floor for group work and the top floor for when you need silence. Don't forget to stop by Starbucks. Check out library.ship.edu for more information. This is a public service announcement from SUTV.
It is now time to go around the globe and check in with Adam Beam, who has this week's world news.
As some of you may be aware, Biden is proposing another student debt relief program after his first plan was denied by the Supreme Court last year. Unfortunately, this plan will mostly impact citizens that have more debt from interest than their original loan was taken out for, or loans that entered repayment before July of 2000. This is expected to impact 30 million people with an estimated cost of $153 billion. The full plan was published in the Federal Register yesterday with a 30-day period for outside comments. The Department of Education is aiming for a finalization in the fall. In a blog post Friday, Google said the move is a test and a reaction to proposed state legislation to make tech companies pay news outlets for their content. It affects a small percentage of California users. A co-author of the bill, State Senate President Mike McGuire, called Google's action an abuse of power and a stunt. One Google executive said it has faced similar legal proposals in other locations and that the open financial exposure to the company is, quote, unworkable. Donald Trump is making history as the first former president to go on trial for criminal charges. Despite last-minute attempts to derail the trial, jury selection was expected to begin Monday morning. That will continue until a panel of 12 New Yorkers and 6 alternates are seated. The process could take at least a week. The trial centers on an alleged sex scandal cover-up that took place before the 2016 presidential election. Adult film star Stormy Daniels claims she had an affair with Trump, something he denies. Trump's former attorney Michael Cohen paid Daniels to keep quiet about the allegations leading up to the election. New York prosecutors accused Trump of falsifying invoices, ledger entries, and checks to hide the reimbursement of the hush money payments made to Daniels by Cohen. Trump has pled not guilty to the 34 counts of falsifying business records. If convicted, Trump could be sentenced to probation or a maximum sentence of approximately 1 to 4 years in state prison on each count. Israel was set to take its first steps towards a ground offensive in Rafah this week, but has delayed those plans as it mulls a response to Iran's attack. That's according to 2 Israeli sources who spoke to CNN. The Israeli Air Force was set to begin dropping leaflets on parts of Rafah on Monday amid preparations for a ground offensive into Gaza's southernmost city, where more than 1 million people are currently sheltering. But the sources said that those plans were delayed over the weekend amid Iran's attack on Israel. One Israeli official said Israel remains determined to carry out a ground offensive in Rafah, although the timing of civilian evacuations and coming ground offensive remain unclear. The Israeli military declined to comment. And that's going to do it for this week's World News. And for one last time, for SUTV News, I'm Adam Beam.
Coming up after the break, we have your 7-day forecast.
And entertainment, the latest from Coachella. All that and more after this.
Are you a student athlete that is looking for additional academic support? Stop by the Catherine Hughes Sieber Raiders Academic Center for Student Athletes. The Raider Academic Center is the one-stop shop of academic information for all 500 student athletes. The staff at the Raiders Academic Center focus their efforts on helping student athletes identify their personal goals and surpass their academic expectations. Bring a teammate and get your study hall hours done at the Raiders Academic Center to achieve your highest potential as a SHIP student athlete.
Looking for a way to be informed and get involved? Join student media on campus. Whether it's SHIP's Emmy-winning TV station, SUTV, award-winning newspaper, The Slate, university radio station, WSYC 88.7, or nationally recognized Public Relations Society, PRSSA, there's an organization for you. Make the most of your college experience. Visit the 3rd floor of the Cub or Roland Hall for more information. This has been a public service announcement from SUTV.
Well, I'll tell you what, Alex, I've been waiting for weeks for some great weather, and I'll tell you what, this week delivered. It's been absolutely beautiful out lately.
Yes, it was. I've been wearing shorts and shirts for the last couple days, and not gonna lie, I've been loving it.
Yeah, I mean, all my shorts and shirts have been in the back of the closet. Now they're in the front of the closet. So hopefully we have some more good news. So let's see what Allison Ritchie has to say, who has this week's weather.
Good evening, Shippensburg. It's been a while since you've seen me on your TV screens, but I'm glad to be back for one more show. And thankfully, some nice weather decided to join me. Today started off a bit drab with clouds in the morning and some moisture in the air, but as you can see behind me, things cleared up and we're looking to have a mostly dry night ahead. Tomorrow, we will see some showers with rain expected well into the evening, but thankfully, it won't postpone any statewide festivities. The week ahead won't see too much sunshine. Things will at least be staying dry throughout. We'll see the high of 69 on Tuesday before a little bit of morning rain on Wednesday. Thankfully, it will be all clear come Thursday. While May flowers bring April showers, this senior is hoping for much clearer skies come graduation day. But that's your SUTV forecast. I'm Allison Ritchie. Now let's see what Michael Salvatore has for us in this week's entertainment.
The first weekend of Coachella is done and over. One of the biggest venues in music has been marked by heavy criticism. Lana Del Rey set off the beginning of Coachella riding in on a motorcycle caravan, and while the Grammy-nominated artist delivered on her classic aesthetic, some described her performance as uninterested and mediocre. The performance also showcased the technical issues that plagued Coachella all weekend. Del Rey's mic repeatedly cut out during her set. The next night, Tyler, the Creator, headlined for the first time in his career. He was joined on stage with guest appearances from fellow artists Childish Gambino and A$AP Rocky. The performance was a highlight of the weekend. On the flip side, Grimes' set on the same night is arguably one of the worst in Coachella history. Her music repeatedly was cut off, and rather than taking accountability for her mistake, Grimes blamed those she outsourced her file management to. The artist issued an apology the next day for her disastrous set, where she still wouldn't take the full blame for her lack of prep work. The video game series Fallout released an 8-episode TV series this last week on Prime. Here is SUTV's Alexander Haig with a review.
Hello there. I'm here to show you a wonderful place.
Ever since the release of Fallout 3 in 2008, Bethesda has been approached multiple times about a television adaptation of the Fallout video games. That all changed when Jonathan Nolan, co-creator of Westworld, approached Bethesda with his idea of a Fallout TV show, having been an avid fan himself. As a fan of the series since I've been in kindergarten, I can say that Nolan did an amazing job not only adapting the post-apocalyptic wasteland, but also creating an original story that will add on to the continuity. The show follows 3 characters, Lucy, Maximus, and the Ghoul. Ella Purnell, who plays Lucy, does a great job portraying a naive vault dweller who must adapt to the wasteland to find her kidnapped father, played by Kyle MacLachlan, while also struggling with her belief that the world is generally good, that good will always prevail evil. Aaron Morton, who plays Maximus, is a squire to the Brotherhood of Steel, and in my opinion, was the weakest out of these 3, but it seems like Season 2 will build upon his arc. The Ghoul, played by Walton Goggins, is my favorite. Walton plays 2 versions of his character. Cooper Howard, an actor before the bombs dropped, who 200 years after becomes a radiation-scarred bounty hunter. I'd also like to shout out Norm, Lucy's brother, played by Moises Arias, who plenty of people know in my generation as Rico Suave Jr. in Hannah Montana. Norm was a side character in the B plot of the show, discovering what was going on in Vaults 31, 32, and 33, who I think he should have been promoted to main cast. I was never bored when the show switched back to him. I was actually quite intrigued. It felt like uncovering the secrets of a vault you find in the games. Nolan made sure 90% of the show's special effects were practical, which really made the experience more visceral and emotional. It's cool to see items or weapons I use in the games brought to life, which are either made by the art department or donated by the fans. When items like stim packs, Radaway, or the Pip-Boy were used to progress the show, they did a better job showing rather than telling it.
Well, now that is a very small drop in a very, very large bucket of drugs.
While the T-60 Power Armor is a standout practical effect in the show, I must give props for filming New California not on a green screen but in Namibia on the Skeleton Coast. The times they do use CGI you could tell, but only used sparingly to show off mutated creatures like the Yaogwai and the Radroach. Seems to me though that Jonathan Nolan has faith in his creation because there were staples of Fallout like the Deathclaw suit mutant that were teased but never actually appeared in the first season. From what I heard, they are saving these plus plenty more in later seasons. From the way they ended this season though, was a great way to build hype for the next one.
Everyone wants to save the world, they just agree on how.
For SUTV Entertainment, I'm Alexander Haig.
Two of the biggest icons in hip-hop are beefing. With more is SUTV's Ben Willie.
Drake and Kendrick Lamar are officially in a diss track war. The drama started months ago with the release of Drake's For All the Dogs album with the song First Person Shooter. Kendrick Lamar would take the lyrics personally and respond with a verse on the song Like That off Metro Boomin's new album. The verse discusses how Kendrick believes the song was dissing him subliminally and how he believes he's the best artist in the hip-hop genre. Drake's response to this was leaked this past weekend, and fans are enjoying the back and forth between two of the best in music. Rick Ross also joined in on the fun between the two by releasing a song of his own, defending Kendrick and dissing Drake himself. Fans are eagerly waiting for a response from Kendrick Lamar one more time. The world of hip-hop will remember this battle for years to come. For SUTV News, I'm Ben Willie.
Last year's Golden Bachelor couple just announced their split after only 3 months of marriage. Jerry Turner and Teresa Nist got married at the end of their season of the Golden Bachelor to show their love for each other. Teresa, age 70, and Jerry, age 72, thanked their fans for being understanding and urged their viewers to search for love even at an old age. The couple disappointed many fans with their breakup news, but explained it was for the best due to the living situations Jerry and Teresa have. They announced the news during their segment of the Good Morning America show on Friday. The couple wants to urge the idea that finding love is possible at any point in your life. I'm Michael Salvatore with Entertainment. Now back to Alex and JD at the desk.
Up on deck is the latest from Ship's baseball and softball teams.
Sports with Jeremy Perna is up right after this commercial break.
The Cub 231 is home to Shippensburg University's Pride Center. The Pride Center offers consultation services to all students across all departments. With the goal of creating a more inclusive campus community, the Pride Center hosts a number of events. The Pride Center has a multitude of active initiatives like the Pride Library and the Gender-Free Clothing Closet to help create inclusivity on campus. If you can't make it in person to the Pride Center Monday through Friday, you can follow the Pride Center on social media to stay up to date on all upcoming events and initiatives.
Ship softball and baseball are both adding more marks to the win columns as the seasons are wrapping up. Over the weekend, baseball swept Lock Haven in a 4-game series despite the windy weather. SU had a total of 9 stolen bases, 6 of which were from junior Gio Calamia. The Raiders clinched the sweep in extra innings thanks to graduate Justin Byler's walk-off home run in the 9th. Ship baseball will return to Fairchild Field tomorrow afternoon to take on Millersville. The doubleheader will start at 1. Ship softball has 2 back-to-back splits at home. The Raiders split wins with Bloomsburg over the weekend. Despite a shaky first game, SU came back in the second game to rule the Huskies in just 6 innings. Freshman Sarah Sabosic made her presence known on the field, making 2 impressive diving catches. Yesterday, Shippensburg had another split against the Shepherd Rams. In the first game, Alicia Ball pitched her second complete game shutout. Sabosic continued to be a pivotal piece to the Raider puzzle as she scored both runs for Game 1. SU will be on the road for the next 3 games. They'll first take on Millersville on Saturday with games starting at 1. The 128th running of the Boston Marathon occurred Monday. 30,000 athletes from 129 countries competed in the long-distance race. The race, held annually on Patriots' Day, is one of the more challenging of the world's 6 major marathons. The weather was on the runner's side, with some clouds and sunny temperatures. 4-time Super Bowl champion Rob Gronkowski served as the Grand Marshal. This year marks 11 years since the deadly bombing at the marathon. 3 people died and more than 260 were injured that day. UFC 300 was this past weekend, and the hype lived up to the expectations. The prelims and early prelims had exciting fights, but the championship bouts were the main focus. The BMF title between Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje was a thriller that ended in the last-second knockout. Zhang Wei Li defended her women's strawweight belt by unanimous decision against Yanxiao Nun. In the final fight, Alex Pereira took down Jamal Hill via first-round knockout to give Pereira the light heavyweight title. The 88th Masters Tournament took place at the Augusta Nationals this weekend, showcasing immense greatness as Scottie Scheffler captured his second victory in the illustrious event. Scheffler captured his second green jacket after shooting 4 under par 68 in the final round, finishing 11 under overall as he sensed the field breathing down his neck. Scheffler said, quote, "I had a lot of really talented players trying to chase me down, and I knew pars weren't going to get it done." Other than the impressive performance, despite lingering injuries, Tiger Woods displayed his unwavering spirit and determination. He valiantly completed the Masters tournament, making the cut, and expressed his intent to participate in the remaining 3 majors of the season, a testament to his competitive nature. Rounding out the leaderboard, Ludwig Aberg finished in the runner-up spot, finishing 7 under. A 3-way tie for 3rd place consisted of Max Homa, Tommy Fleetwood, and Colin Morikawa, all finishing 4 under. After Scheffler captured his impressive victory, he still remains number 1 in the world golf rankings, as defending champion Jon Rahm put the green jacket on him, continuing a timeless tradition in tournament history. The 89th Augusta National Tournament will take place next April, as Scheffler will look to capture his 3rd green jacket in as many seasons. Shippensburg Track and Field had their first home meet at Seth Grove Stadium this Wednesday. For the women's team, 6 events were won as junior Leah Graybill tied the all-time school record, posting 11.68 seconds. She also placed first in the 200-meter dash. Freshman Ashley Laukus captured first place in the high jump, setting a personal record. For the long jump, Sarah McKeon posted a 19-foot 4 3/4 mark for the provisional qualifier. From the men's side of things, Wednesday's action was primarily highlighted by senior Josh Herbster breaking the all-time conference record with a 64.89-meter hammer toss. Another record was broken as redshirt sophomore Drew Daly broke the all-time conference record in the 1,500 meters at 3 minutes and 54 seconds. Overall, the men's and women's team won a combined 14 events in yesterday's meet. Track and field action will return on Saturday, April 24th for the Paul Kaiser Classic. That's all for SUTV Sports. Now back to Alex and JD at the desk.
Coming up next, we bid farewell to our seniors.
Stay tuned.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Here at SUTV, it's a tradition to give a final send-off to our graduating seniors. I'm Alexander Haig, joined here by fellow graduating senior Michael Salvatore. We also want to thank our seniors who could not attend senior night, but wish them the best of luck. Our first question for our panel: what are your favorite memories from SUTV?
I'd have to start with the Halloween live stream from first semester, and that was spearheaded by Adam Beam, and he did an excellent job, and it was pretty surreal. Especially, I had never really pulled off an all-nighter before, so to just be jacked on Coca-Cola and energy drinks and junk food and just listening to old horror movies and everything was something else. And to hear the words, "The dead are returning to life" in a news studio, it was pretty surreal.
I would say that was also my favorite night, but instead of, we were in the activity room and we were all just playing different types of Wordles, spearheaded by Ben Willie, which that was fun.
Oh yeah.
And we were laughing our butts off the whole time. I love that, and can't wait to see what SUTV has next for broadcasts if they do something like that. Second question: what are your plans after graduation?
I'm going to be attending Montclair University in the fall. I already have a coaching job lined up for this summer, but I'll be studying film and TV production in the fall while I'm at Montclair for the next 2 years. I thought it'd be a very great opportunity since it's 10 miles outside New York City, get involved in a movie studio someplace, and I'm really excited, and it'll be a big shift, but I'm ready for it.
So I'm a psychology major, so I've applied to a few jobs for my psychology degree. I have 2 interviews next week, and my parents are trying to get me a government job as well, so they're going to help me with that. So I have a few interviews lined up and applications lined up, but don't know if I'll be going to the psychology field or the communication field.
Very nice.
And third question: what will you miss most about Shippensburg University?
Ooh, that's a tough one, but I'd say the people. It is a really beautiful area, I'd say, and even though, you know, the smell of cow manure and everything else can be pretty nauseating some days, and other times it's very cold and depressing sometimes. Overall, I'm gonna miss it a lot, and the people, and just the memories I've made with the swim team here at SUTV, or my dorm mates, my other friends around here. It's gonna be very bittersweet when I walk across that stage for graduation, but that's life.
Yeah, I think you kind of said what I said as well. I think it's going to be the people, not even like the people at SUTV, the people I've made when I first transferred here, even the people in my halls. Like they shaped me for who I am now, and it's kind of going to be hard trying not seeing them that much anymore. But yeah, anyway, that will do it for SUTV. I'm Alexander Haig.
And I'm Michael Salvatore.
Don't forget to follow SUTV on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram at SUTV News. Don't forget to check out our website at sutvnews.org. Good night, everyone.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.